So you would have seen some of my latest videos, the Victron GlobalLink 520, which is sitting right here, so it's not inside the vehicle anymore. I've had some issues with it. It's been cutting in and cutting out. We think it's a fault in the unit. It seemed to work fine for the first 10-12 hours. It was uploading the data every 15 minutes. Since then, it's been a hit and miss. So there'd be periods like up to 2 hours before it'll actually upload any data, and there'll be nothing in between that. And it'll work for an hour, and then it'll probably don't work for another half an hour, and vice versa. You'd be lucky to get it to work properly for more than an hour. Well, that's not good enough, and I'm pretty sure that's not what this is supposed to do. I've spoken to the tech department and they want me to send it back, do some tests on it. Now, since I've got this fella, guys, I found out about another product. And you might see there's 3 more boxes here. So what are they? They're very similar to this fella here, the GlobalLink 520. Does very similar job, but it's got a lot of advantages over the GlobalLink 520. Now, I didn't know about this product until after I purchased this. To be honest, if I hadn't known about this product, I would have grabbed it. Does a similar job what this does, but a lot more. So you can remotely connect to it, etc. Remember this one I mentioned, it uploads every 15 minutes. This one here is adjustable. I'm not sure how far you can go down to it, and you can set it to whatever interval you want. So this is going to be a lot more accurate for me, and hopefully it won't run into that issue where this one here, for anywhere up to 2 hours, it won't upload any data. It mounted an external 4G antenna onto my vehicle, and it still does the same. It just cuts out. So after talking to the tech department, they seem to think it's a fault, so it's going to go back. And I told them if you could just give me a refund or just reimburse me the cost against these. So I ordered this yesterday because I knew this is going to drag on quite a fair bit. So I didn't want to stuff around with that. And they'll just reimburse me back the money on this when they receive it, as long as it's faulty. So if it's not faulty, then they'll probably send it back to me, guys. It's not doing the task that it's supposed to do. It's a Victron Cerbo GX. It's got a lot more features on it. Now, I'm still learning about this, but we're going to install it today. So on the top you can see it's the USB port that I mentioned, just there. You see all the different types of connections. Network cable here as well. If you've got this installed next to a modem on your network, you can connect a network cable on that. Also, it's got Bluetooth connectivity. The other one didn't have that. Also, this is a big plus for me, it's got Wi-Fi as well. Now, I don't know if I mentioned the other day that I've had to park my car outside the past few days, out in the yard, in the backyard where it's sitting now, because every time I go in the garage I lose signal, because I've only got about 1 bar where I live. So I've had it parked out in the yard here for the last couple of days. So I've since found out about this, so I'm upgrading to this. As I mentioned, it's got your Wi-Fi access point. It's got USB ports here, so one of them, that one there is not a data, that's just for power. That one there is to go with this one here. If you purchase the dedicated Victron monitor, touchscreen monitor that goes with this, which eventually I probably will get, you use that one for it to power. And then you got these two. So what you can do with these, you could connect a mouse to it, you could connect a keyboard to it. As I said, it's Wi-Fi, so I know I'll be able to park this in the garage. When I come home, it'll connect to my Wi-Fi network, and I won't have to worry about the weak 4G. Now, it doesn't have a GSM network of any sort connected to it. So as soon as I go away from home, unless I'm connected to a Wi-Fi or a modem, then I lose the signal to this. But there is another solution. So what we have here, this here is a Victron GX LTE 4G. So designed for Australia, New Zealand and South America. This will connect to the 4G, and it comes with a little aerial here as well. Got 2 mounting points here. I think the top one is for your aerial, external aerial, or the aerial that comes with it. And the bottom one here, I can also connect a GPS device onto this here. It runs one USB cable that will plug into one of the USB ports on that Cerbo GX. I see it's also got a power cable there, so I'll be able to power it through my DC hub. And that's the GPS antenna. I think that's called an MSA connector. So just plug that into the GSM 4G dongle there. The packaging's a bit bare. Spend more of the money on research and technology on the products than what they do on packaging. Now of course, if they're sold in a retail store, you will get the updated packaging, but then you'll pay a fair bit more as well. So I bought these directly off one of the distributors here in Australia, and they're great to deal with, and they're called Outback Marine, and they're based down in Gold Coast. Let's get to put this together. Power lead from this is already connected. I'm going to grab my mobile phone and I'm going to download the manual. So we've downloaded the manual for this. What is the Cerbo GX? The Cerbo GX sits at the heart of your energy installation. All the other system components such as the inverter, chargers, solar chargers, batteries are connected to it. The Cerbo GX ensures that they all work in harmony. So what I'm going to connect to mine, 4G dongle, which I'll do a separate video on that I think. My Victron BMV 712 smart battery monitor and my Victron Smart Solar MPPT 100/50 solar regulator onto this as well. There's an optional touch screen accessory, as I mentioned before, called the GX Touch, but you don't need it. Monitoring the system can be done either with the Cerbo GX in front of you or from anywhere in the world using an internet connection, and that's our VRM portal, which is what we were using on the GlobalLink. There's a photo here showing some of the features and what you can connect to this, and it's quite extensive. Just about every Victron product out there can be connected through this, and then you'll be able to remotely connect to it. So you've got things like alarms, etc. And you can also, the level of your fuel tanks, oil tanks, water. If you've got a generator, you can set it up so that it will turn the generator on between certain hours a day. Or you can turn it on just through this, so you don't even have to go to the generator. You can just switch your generator through this device here, the Cerbo GX. So it's very powerful what you do, and it's actually cheaper. It's actually cheaper than this one here as well. But the only thing it's missing, like I said, you cannot remotely connect to it when you're away from Wi-Fi. But that's where that optional dongle that I just showed you comes in. So with that, you can. It's all set up. About 2 or 3 hours later, all I had to do was just connect those VE bus connectors, one from the 712 battery monitor and the other one's from the solar regulator, put the power in, connected to the Bluetooth through the Victron Connect App, set up the network so it's connected to my Wi-Fi network, and then I just went in and adjusted the parameters such as interval time when it uploads to the portal and so on. And I've just been now looking at the graph, and it has not missed one recording. It's awesome to be able to see a graph that's uploaded to a portal that you can remotely connect to anywhere in the world, as long as this is within some sort of a network coverage somewhere. It's just awesome, and it's very accurate data as well. It's working a lot better than the GlobalLink. I've been talking to a friend of mine who actually just ordered one of these GlobalLinks, and his has just arrived in the mail not long ago, and just out of curiosity, we actually compared the serial numbers, and mine's a fair bit older, his is a lot newer, so whether that's got something to do. So we're pretty much at the conclusion that that one I've got was faulty. It's getting to get sent away and get tested, but like I said, hopefully I'll get reimbursed the money off that back onto this new gear here. So I'll keep testing this, and probably tomorrow I'll do another video similar to what I did with the GlobalLink and show you the portal on it and show you all the information on that, and it's going to be very interesting. So right now I've got my high voltage solar panels out. It's recording all the data off that as well, such as the voltage at the panels, the amps that those panels are putting in, and then it's also recording the data from my solar regulator on how many amps is actually going into the battery. It's quite remarkable the amount of data you can get on those. So it's all up and running now, and hopefully it'll pick up the Wi-Fi that's in the garage. And if by any chance it doesn't, I've got a Wi-Fi booster that I can connect to my garage, and that should rectify that issue. So I've got the two other devices here, GPS antenna, and of course I've got the dongle here. So earlier this morning, after I went to pick this up at the local post office, I went to the Telstra store and picked up a SIM card. So I'm going to start connecting this up now. I'll do a separate video on that. So till next time, eh? And please guys, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, it'll help my channel enormously. And also, be kind to everyone and look after yourself, eh? And put a like on this video. Any questions you want to know, just post them down below and ask, and I'll do my best to answer. And so till next time, cheers. Look after yourself, eh? See ya.